In the vastness of space, the Galactic Council, convened within the opulent chamber of their central command ship, a colossal structure that shimmered with the light of distant stars, alien delegates from various species filled the room, their faces illuminated by holographic displays depicting the planet Earth and its recent advancements. The atmosphere was tense as representatives argued over the implications of humanity's rapid technological progress. The Council had watched in apprehension as Earth developed new weapons and explored the far reaches of space. Humanity was no longer a mere curiosity, but a potential threat to the galactic balance of power. High Chancellor Threx, a towering figure with iridescent skin, silenced the room with a wave of his elongated hand. His voice resonated with authority as he addressed the assembly. "We have seen what humanity is capable of in a short time. Their ambition knows no bounds. If we do not act swiftly, we risk losing control over our domain." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. The delegates exchanged glances, some nodded in understanding, while others expressed skepticism. Zarkan, a cunning strategist from the reptilian species, known as the Scyther, questioned the urgency of their actions. "Do we truly need to resort to violence? We have faced threats before, and survived. Perhaps diplomacy could yield better results." Threx shook his head vehemently. "Our previous attempts at diplomacy have been met with hostility and aggression. They do not understand the consequences of their actions. We must show them the price of defiance." The delegates shifted uneasily as the gravity of the situation sank in. The holographic display shifted to show images of human military drills, advanced technologies, and the burgeoning space fleet. "Humanity is harnessing forces we cannot allow to escalate." Threx continued, "The Council has decided to send our elite assassins, the deadly Shadow Unit, to Earth. Their skills in infiltration and elimination are unmatched. These operatives will neutralize key human leaders and instill fear among their ranks. This will serve as a warning to all who dare challenge the Galactic Council." A chorus of nods affirmed Threx's proposal. A representative from the insectoid species, known as the Kethari, voiced a concern. "But what if these soldiers fail? What if they are met with unexpected resistance?" "The Council had considered this possibility," Threx replied, "but we have conducted extensive surveillance on Earth. Their military is divided and unprepared for the full might of our forces." As the decision was finalized, the atmosphere shifted from uncertainty to grim determination. The Council recognized the weight of their choice, but believed it necessary for the survival of their galactic order. In a flash, the Assembly authorized the deployment of the deadly Shadow Unit, a cadre of highly trained assassins, each a master of stealth and combat. They would descend upon Earth with a singular purpose: to eliminate the threat before it could grow. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was charged with its own sense of impending change. Scientists and military leaders scrambled to understand the unseen danger gathering in the void of space. Reports of strange energy signatures and unusual celestial activity flooded command centers across the globe. Amidst the confusion, the United Nations convened an emergency meeting. Representatives from various nations gathered to address the potential extraterrestrial threat. Fear and uncertainty loomed over the proceedings as leaders debated the best course of action, while unbeknownst to them the countdown to chaos had already begun. The Council's decision echoed through the cosmos. The deadly Shadow Unit prepared to embark on their mission. Cloaked in darkness, they would soon invade the fragile world of humanity, unaware of the fierce resistance that awaited them. For humanity was not as vulnerable as the Council believed. The stage was set for an epic confrontation that would alter the course of history forever. As the shadows of the Galactic Council's decision loomed over Earth, a covert military program, hidden deep within a classified facility, began to awaken. The facility, known only as Project Titan, was a culmination of years of research and experimentation designed to create humanity's ultimate defense against external threats. Inside the sterile walls of the facility, scientists and military leaders moved with purpose, their faces illuminated by the glow of computer screens, displaying genetic data and advanced schematics. Every detail mattered as they prepared for an unprecedented challenge. The threat of alien assassins was imminent and time was running out. Emily Carter, a brilliant geneticist with a fiery determination, led the project. Her sharp mind had been at the forefront of human augmentation research, and she was fully aware of the stakes at play. We need to push the boundaries of what it means to be human, she declared, her voice steady as she addressed the gathered team. This is not just about survival, we are fighting for our future. Around her, the team consisted of the brightest minds from various disciplines, engineers, biologists, and military strategists, all united in a single mission. The pressure was palpable as they delved into the complexities of genetic manipulation and cybernetic enhancements. The goal was clear: to transform ordinary soldiers into super soldiers capable of facing the alien threat. As the team worked tirelessly night and day, they began to witness breakthroughs previously thought impossible: enhanced strength, rapid healing, and heightened senses. Each advancement brought them closer to their goal, but it also raised ethical questions. What does it mean to be human when we alter our very nature? In the midst of these debates, the facility buzzed with activity as the first batch of super soldiers underwent training. Their bodies were refined through a combination of physical conditioning and cutting-edge technology. They were equipped with advanced armor that enhanced their capabilities and protected them from harm. Each soldier was imbued with a sense of purpose, knowing they were humanity's last line of defense. Meanwhile, news of the escalating alien threat began to trickle into the public domain. The media frenzy sparked fear and uncertainty among the populous. Families huddled around screens watching reports of strange phenomena in the sky and unexplained attacks on military installations. The world was on edge, and leaders scrambled to reassure their citizens that help was on the way. Amidst this chaos, Emily gathered the first batch of super soldiers in a training facility, a vast arena filled with obstacles and combat simulations. She looked at them with a mix of pride and concern. These are not just soldiers, she reminded them, these are humanity's champions. The soldiers stood tall, their expressions a mixture of determination and apprehension. They understood the gravity of their mission. Their lives had been altered, their very identities reshaped in preparation for the fight of their lives. As the training commenced, the soldiers pushed their limits through grueling exercises and intense simulations. They learned to harness their new abilities, moving with agility and strength beyond what they had previously thought possible. Each training session was a testament to their resilience and unwavering spirit. In the background, the countdown to the impending alien assault ticked closer with every passing moment. The scientists raced to finalize the enhancements and integrate the latest technologies into the soldiers' gear as they prepared for the moment they would face the extraterrestrial threat head-on. While the world held its breath, Project Titan was reaching its climax. The fate of humanity rested on the shoulders of these super soldiers who were determined to show the Galactic Council that humanity was not to be underestimated. They were ready to fight for their planet and their very existence. As the hour approached, they stood united, steeled for the battle that would soon unfold and change everything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the atmosphere on Earth shifted into a tense anticipation. A veil of darkness settled over cities, while the vastness of space loomed overhead. The deadly Shadow Unit moved silently through the void of space, their sleek ship gliding toward the blue planet. Below each assassin was a master of stealth and cunning, trained to eliminate high-value targets without leaving a trace. The ship's command center was dimly lit. A holographic display projected images of their targets, human leaders, military commanders, and influential figures. The unit leader, known only as Voss, stood at the helm, a tall figure with an aura of menace. his sharp features illuminated by the glowing screens as he reviewed the mission parameters. "We strike swiftly and decisively," he instructed his team. "The goal is to create chaos and fear among their ranks. We will eliminate key individuals to destabilize their response and showcase the futility of their resistance." His team nodded in agreement. Each member was a lethal weapon honed for this very moment. Their missions had been crafted with precision, and their resolve was unwavering. They were the best of the best, trained in the art of assassination and infiltration. They thrived in the shadows. On the ground below, the world was spiraling into a state of alert. Military forces scrambled to secure key installations, while citizens prepared for the worst. The news broadcasts were filled with warnings of potential attacks as the public sought shelter and safety. Uncertainty reigned supreme. In the command center of the United Nations, emergency meetings were underway. Leaders from across the globe convened to discuss the developing crisis as reports of unusual activity in the skies flooded in. The tension escalated. President Wilson addressed the assembly, his voice steady but filled with concern. "We cannot underestimate this threat. We need to mobilize our forces and prepare for any potential invasion." As the military began to deploy forces, the first wave of alien assassins descended upon their targets. Hidden in the darkness, they moved like shadows, their presence barely detected by the unsuspecting humans below. Each assassin equipped with advanced technology and weapons designed for maximum efficiency. They were ready to strike. The first target, a high-ranking military general, was attending a gala event in a lavish hotel. The alien operatives infiltrated the gathering, blending seamlessly with the crowd. Their movements fluid and silent. They were ghosts among the living. With a swift and calculated approach, Voss signaled for the strike. The assassins moved into action. Their advanced weaponry flickered to life as they approached their target. Chaos erupted in the ballroom as the lights flickered and alarms blared. Guests screamed and scattered in panic. In the ensuing chaos, the general was cornered, but he fought back fiercely, his training kicking in even as he faced overwhelming odds. But the assassins were relentless, each one a deadly force honed for this very purpose. With brutal efficiency, they executed their mission, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Meanwhile, news of the attack spread like wildfire. The world was in shock as footage of the event hit the airwaves. Pundits debated the implications of this new threat, and leaders scrambled to respond, but the deadly shadow unit had no intention of stopping their assault. As the assassins moved on to their next target, humanity was thrust into a crisis. They had never anticipated the consequences of their rapid technological progress, now manifested in the form of alien assassins sent to annihilate them. But unbeknownst to the Galactic Council, a counter-response was already brewing on the ground. In the heart of Project Titan, the super soldiers were prepared for deployment. They had trained for this moment, and their time to shine was fast approaching. As chaos unfolded across the globe, they were ready to prove that humanity was not so easily extinguished. The battle lines were drawn, and a fierce confrontation was imminent. In the heart of the chaos, the air crackled with tension as the first wave of super soldiers emerged from their base, equipped with state-of-the-art technology. Their enhancements glimmered under the harsh city lights. As they moved with an agility that surpassed any normal human soldier, the ground shook beneath their feet as they sprinted towards the heart of the urban battleground, where alien forces wreaked havoc. Commanders watched from their operations center, eyes glued to the holographic displays, showing real-time footage of the ongoing conflict. Their hearts raced as they anticipated the clash of human ingenuity against alien supremacy. The room buzzed with urgent voices, strategizing and adjusting plans on the fly as the super soldiers took their positions ready to engage the enemy. The aliens had taken over the rooftops, using their height advantage to rain down energy blasts on unsuspecting civilians. Below, they moved with a predatory grace, their sleek forms blending into the shadows as they executed their deadly mission. The scene was chaotic, the cries of civilians intermingling with the sounds of destruction echoing through the streets. With a sudden burst, the super soldiers launched into action, their movements synchronized like a well-oiled machine. They deployed high-tech weaponry that fired with pinpoint accuracy. The first skirmish was swift as they unleashed a barrage of projectiles, targeting the alien snipers with deadly precision. The aliens responded immediately, using their advanced shields to deflect incoming fire, but the super soldiers adapted quickly, employing guerrilla tactics that caught the aliens off guard. One super soldier, known as Jax, led the charge. His enhanced vision allowed him to spot weaknesses in the alien defenses as he issued commands to his squad, his voice steady and commanding. They split into teams, maneuvering through alleyways and abandoned buildings, using the urban landscape to their advantage. The streets that once belonged to the humans were now a battleground where survival depended on quick thinking and rapid execution. As the fighting escalated, the intensity of the encounters grew. The super soldiers faced off against alien assassins in a series of breathtaking confrontations. Jax found himself engaged in a one-on-one duel with an alien warrior. The creature moved with blinding speed. Its strikes were lethal and precise. Jax dodged narrowly, feeling the rush of adrenaline course through him, every move calculated and instinctual. The clash was a dance of death as they exchanged blows, their strength and skill pushing each other to the limit. With each strike, the ground shook with the force of their power, and the onlookers could only hold their breath, witnessing the spectacle unfold before their eyes. This was a war of survival, where both sides fought not just for victory, but for their very existence. As the battle raged on, the super soldiers showcased their training and enhancements, utilizing new tactics that turned the tide in their favor. They used distraction and deception to draw the aliens into traps, exploiting their vulnerabilities. With every victory, the human forces grew bolder, emboldened by the realization that they could stand against the alien threat. Yet, amidst the chaos and destruction, something deeper was at play. Jax felt the weight of responsibility bearing down on him as he fought for his comrades and for humanity. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined, and the realization that the fate of the planet rested on their shoulders fueled his determination to push forward, even when faced with insurmountable odds. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a crimson hue across the battlefield, it became clear that this was just the beginning. The super soldiers were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of humanity itself. As the night descended, they prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead, standing united against the forces that sought to extinguish their light. In the midst of the relentless battle, Jax found himself separated from his unit as the chaos swirled around him. He ducked behind a crumbling wall, catching his breath, adrenaline pulsing through his veins. The sounds of gunfire and alien screeches filled the air, drowning out his thoughts, but he knew he had to stay focused. He couldn't let fear consume him. While scanning the area for his squad, he noticed something peculiar glinting in the shadows. A small device, pulsating with light. Curiosity ignited within him. He approached cautiously, glancing around to ensure he was safe. He recognized it as an alien communication relay. The knowledge he had gained in training suddenly surged back to him. This could be crucial. With quick reflexes, he disabled the security protocols, using a combination of his training and intuition. As the device powered up, he was met with a flurry of alien chatter, filling his mind, voices intertwining in a rapid exchange. He strained to decipher their words, filtering through the static and confusion. Finally, a clear message emerged. Their fear was palpable. They spoke of humanity's rapid evolution of technology and strategy, their plans to eliminate the perceived threat humanity posed to the galaxy. Jax felt a chill run down his spine. This was bigger than he had anticipated. It wasn't just a battle for survival, but a war against extinction. Heart racing, he began to record the conversation, taking careful notes on the strategies and insights that were being revealed to him. As he pieced together their plans, he realized that the aliens believed humanity was on the brink of something extraordinary, a potential that, if unleashed, could rival their own capabilities. They feared what humanity could become if given the chance. Suddenly a voice broke through the static, a commanding presence that sent a shiver down his spine. The alien leader was speaking about the necessity of their mission, how it was vital to eliminate the threat before it could manifest. Jax's mind raced as he absorbed the information. This was a window into their psyche, a glimpse of their deepest fears. The urgency to relay this information to his commanders intensified, as he knew that knowledge was power. If they could exploit this fear, they might stand a chance against the relentless onslaught. Jax quickly transmitted the data to his unit, while maintaining a low profile, hoping it would reach them before the aliens discovered his presence. As he finished transmitting, the device began to beep, indicating an incoming signal from the aliens. Jax's instincts kicked in. He ducked behind cover. Just as an alien patrol rounded the corner, their sleek forms moving with purpose, scanning for any signs of human activity, his heart pounded in his chest as he watched them pass, unaware of the critical information he held. Once the patrol was gone, Jax knew he had to rejoin his unit. He moved stealthily through the debris-filled streets, relying on the training that had been drilled into him. He navigated the shadows, slipping between wreckage and ruins as he made his way back to the main conflict zone. As he approached, he spotted his comrades engaged in fierce combat. The super soldiers were holding their ground, but they needed the information he had uncovered. He rushed into the fray, calling out to his squad leaders, drawing their attention with an urgency that could not be ignored. "We have to regroup," he shouted, his voice barely rising above the din of battle. "The aliens are scared of us. They think we can become something greater. We need to use this to our advantage." He relayed the details of the alien plans, his heart pounding with every word. As his team listened intently, hope igniting in their eyes. This was the turning point they needed to change the course of the battle and reclaim their world. As Jax finished relaying the vital information, his squad leaders exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from concern to determination. They understood the gravity of what they faced and the opportunity that had emerged from the chaos. The knowledge of the aliens' fear became a rallying cry for the super soldiers, a chance to turn the tide of battle. "We need to regroup and strategize," one of the commanders said, urgency lacing their voice. "We can't let this information go to waste." Jax felt a surge of adrenaline as they quickly organized their forces. The battlefield around them continued to roar with violence, but the newfound knowledge gave them a sense of purpose that had been lacking. They found a temporary safe haven in a dilapidated building surrounded by rubble. The walls echoed with the sounds of battle outside, but within the group was focused eyes locked on Jax as he detailed the alien plans and their fear of human potential. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as each soldier processed the information that could change everything. "We can exploit their fear," a strategist declared, pacing back and forth. "If we can show them our capabilities, we can disrupt their operations and force them to reconsider their approach." Another soldier chimed in, "We need to take the fight to them, showing them we're not just defending ourselves, but actively pursuing victory." Jax nodded, feeling a swell of pride for his team. They were ready to adapt and innovate to meet the challenge head on. He could see the resolve hardening in their eyes. They were no longer just fighting for survival, they were fighting for the future of humanity. With a plan forming in their minds, the super soldiers began to divide tasks. Some would create diversions, drawing the alien forces into traps, while others would focus on critical points of the alien infrastructure. With Jax's insight, they aimed to dismantle the enemy from within. They understood that fear could be a powerful weapon if wielded correctly. As they moved out into the streets, once more the atmosphere had shifted. The super soldiers Operated with newfound confidence, their mission clear, they moved swiftly and silently, slipping through shadows to gather intel and launch their counteroffensive. Every interaction, every clash, became an opportunity to demonstrate their strength. The chaos of battle erupted around them, but they remained focused, their tactical minds sharp. As they executed their plan, the aliens were still formidable adversaries, but the super soldiers had learned to anticipate their movements, adapting to their advanced tactics. With every engagement, they grew bolder, pushing deeper into alien territory. Each skirmish brought victories that fueled their momentum. They coordinated strikes against isolated alien squads, using guerrilla tactics to gain the upper hand. The fear of humanity became a tangible force as they disrupted the aliens' communication lines and sabotaged their weaponry, leaving confusion in their wake. Jax felt exhilaration surging through him as they reclaimed their streets. Step by step, he could see the alien forces faltering their once coordinated attacks, becoming erratic as the super soldiers proved that they were not to be underestimated. Each victory ignited a fire within them, and they pressed on, fueled by the knowledge that they were fighting not just for survival, but for a brighter future. As night fell, the battlefield transformed into a cacophony of light, and the city became a vivid tapestry of chaos. But amid the destruction, Jax and his team stood united, their resolve unwavering. They knew that the next phase of their plan would be crucial. It was time to confront the alien leadership directly, to show them what humanity was truly capable of. As they prepared for the decisive strike, a sense of determination enveloped them. They were ready to seize their destiny and change the course of the war. As the super soldiers gathered for the final push, Jax felt a sense of unity among his comrades, their eyes glimmering with determination. They had witnessed the power of knowledge and the strength of their bond, and now they were ready to face the alien leadership directly. The night air crackled with anticipation as they moved stealthily through the remnants of the city, the sounds of battle still echoing around them. The command center of the alien forces loomed ahead, a massive structure that pulsed with energy, illuminated by the glow of alien technology. Jax and his team approached with caution. The earlier skirmishes had weakened the enemy's resolve, but they knew the leadership would be a formidable opponent. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. As they reached the perimeter, Jax signaled for silence. They could see alien sentries patrolling the area, their movements precise and calculated. The super soldiers slipped into the shadows, relying on their training to navigate the tight security. Jax felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. Every decision could mean the difference between victory and defeat. They positioned themselves around the entrance, a plan forming in their minds. As Jax outlined the approach, they would divide into two teams. One would create a distraction, drawing the sentries away, while the other would infiltrate the command center and confront the alien leaders. It was a risky move, but they had come too far to back down now. With a nod from his comrades, they initiated the plan. The distraction team launched a series of explosives in the opposite direction, sending alien guards rushing toward the chaos. The remaining super soldiers seized the moment, slipping into the command center undetected. Their hearts raced as they moved through the dimly lit corridors, their senses heightened, scanning for any sign of the alien leadership. Inside the command center, they found themselves in a vast chamber filled with holographic displays showing tactical information and alien schematics. Jax felt a surge of adrenaline as they advanced deeper. The walls pulsed with an eerie light, illuminating the faces of the alien commanders who stood gathered around a central console. As they prepared to confront their enemies, Jax took a deep breath, readying himself for the moment that could change everything. He knew that they needed to show the aliens that humanity was not to be underestimated, that they were capable of fighting back with intelligence and strength. When the time came, they burst into the chamber. Weapons raised. The aliens turned in surprise, their expressions shifting from confusion to realization as they registered the threat before them. Jax stepped forward, leading the charge. "We are not your prey," he declared, his voice steady and strong. "We are humanity, and we will not be eliminated." The tension in the room was palpable. The alien leaders exchanged glances, their fear of human potential reflected in their eyes. Jax could see the hesitation as they realized that their plans had underestimated the resilience of humanity. "We know your fears," Jax continued. "We understand what you think we could become, and we refuse to be silenced." The aliens hesitated, glancing at each other, uncertainty creeping into their demeanor. Jax seized the moment. Recognizing the power of their fear, they knew the threat that humanity posed, and it was time to turn that fear against them. As he spoke, he could see doubt flickering in the eyes of the alien leaders. In that moment, the super soldiers advanced further, their presence a testament to the strength of humanity's resolve. They moved with purpose, surrounding the alien commanders as they prepared for a confrontation that would reshape the course of their conflict. Each super soldier embodied the spirit of their people, a force united against the unknown. The air thickened with anticipation as the aliens processed their predicament, realizing that they were no longer the hunters, but the hunted in this game of survival. The tables had turned. Jax and his team stood firm, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to carve out their place in the universe as equals, not enemies. And the fate of both species hung in the balance as they prepared for the confrontation that would define their future. As the tension hung in the air, Jax and his team stood resolute, their weapons trained on the alien leaders, who now realized they were not invulnerable. After all, the atmosphere shifted as both sides processed the gravity of the moment. The alien commanders exchanged nervous glances, their fear palpable, as they considered the ramifications of humanity's resilience. "We do not wish to destroy you," Jax declared, his voice unwavering. "We seek only to survive and thrive. We understand that you fear what we might become, but we are not your enemy. We can coexist. We can learn from one another." The aliens seemed taken aback by the boldness of his statement, their expressions a mix of confusion and intrigue. One of the alien leaders stepped forward, her features sharp and angular, her voice echoing with authority. "We have watched your species evolve and adapt at an alarming rate. Your potential poses a significant threat to our order, but your words suggest a willingness to negotiate." She paused, her gaze piercing into Jax, as if searching for the truth behind his resolve. Jax seized the opportunity, sensing the fragile opening. He turned to his comrades and motioned for them to lower their weapons as a gesture of good faith. He stepped closer to the alien leader. "We can show you our intentions. We can demonstrate that we are capable of more than mere destruction, that we seek collaboration, not annihilation." The alien leaders exchanged glances, deliberating in silence. As the tension began to wane, Jax could feel the weight of history hanging in the balance. They were on the precipice of change, a moment that could define the future. For both species, he knew they needed to showcase humanity's strengths and their willingness to cooperate. "We propose a demonstration," Jax continued, drawing on his confidence. "We will show you the technology we've developed, the innovations born from our struggles and our determination to thrive. Let us share our knowledge with you. If you truly wish to understand us, you will see that our potential can be a force for good." As Jax spoke, the atmosphere shifted. The alien leaders appeared to consider his proposal, their expressions softening slightly. Curiosity mingled with caution. The power dynamics were shifting, and Jax felt a sense of hope ignite within him. He realized that they had a chance to bridge the divide between their worlds. "We will consider your offer," the alien leader replied, her tone less combative than before. "We are willing to hear what you have to say, but understand that trust must be earned. We have seen the destruction your kind is capable of, and we will not lower our defenses without reason." Jax nodded, acknowledging the validity of her concerns. He understood that trust would take time, but this was the first step toward forging a new relationship between their species. They could not ignore the fears that had driven them apart, but they could work to overcome them through dialogue and understanding. As the super soldiers and alien leaders began to discuss the possibilities of fragile peace settled over the command center, the war outside continued to rage. But within these walls, a new chapter was unfolding. The potential for collaboration began to take shape as both sides shared their perspectives. Over the following hours, they engaged in conversations that traversed technology, culture, and philosophy, exploring the common ground that could unite them. The barriers of fear and misunderstanding began to erode as they recognized the shared values that lay beneath their differences. Outside the city, the battles raged on, but inside, a new alliance was forming, a realization that cooperation could lead to greater advancements for both species. The super soldiers stood alongside the aliens, no longer as adversaries, but as partners committed to shaping a future where they could coexist and thrive together. In that moment, Jax understood that they had achieved something monumental. They had turned fear into hope and conflict into collaboration. And as the dawn broke over the horizon, it illuminated a new path forward for both humanity and the alien race, paving the way for a shared future built on mutual respect and understanding.